So
Nice.
Nikki very nicely has, I'm going to look at this again, Space Battle Lunchtime Card Game all set up, ready to go. So I'm going to, there you go, pass the baton back to you.
Awesome. So Space Battle Lunchtime is based on a really cute graphic novel by Oni Press. And if you haven't checked out graphic novels for a while, this is a really good one because it's basically about a chef battling in space. So a cooking show where these different chefs are trying to use intergalactic ingredients to create these really wacky dishes. One of my favorite things about the game is actually the names of the dishes on the cards are just hilarious. So if you get a copy of this, definitely check those out. So the game itself is actually really simple. And again, this would be a great game to try and teach people in your household who are maybe just getting into gaming for the first time. And the idea is that you are collecting ingredients that you're going to spend to make these dishes. But just like any cooking show, you probably aren't going to have exactly what you need to make the perfect dish. So you're just trying to get as close as you can to what the judges have asked for. So at the very top of the board, you'll see that we have 3 different judges for this particular show. There's a big deck of them, but we just pick one for each different game that we play. And each of those judges will give you a bonus if you make exactly the dish that they asked for. But if you can't quite get there based on the cards that you have, then you can still get points for your dish. You just don't get their bonus and you don't get quite as many points. So right underneath the judges, you'll see those 4 dishes that they have asked us to make. And each one of them has ingredient requirements at the top. So you'll see those little dots underneath the name of the dish. Those are the different types of ingredients. So it might be 2 blue, 2 purple, and 1 red. And that would mean you would need to discard those cards to be able to take that. But some of the cards have more or less of those ingredients on them, and you might not get the exact combination. So if you do get the right number and the right colors, you get the gold value. If you get the right types of ingredients, but the wrong amount of them, you'll get the silver value. And if you get the right number of ingredients, but they're not the right ones, you only get bronze because it probably doesn't taste very good.
What, bitter? I thought you said sweet. Like, what? Doesn't it taste beautiful? Come on.
Brownies with hamburger instead. You know, it's close. It looks right. So, so you might not get as many points for that. And if you do get the gold one, like I said, you get the bonus. Also, each one of the chefs has a specialty. So I might really like cooking sweet dishes. So if I'm able to use a sweet ingredient on my turn to turn in for one of those, then I'll get a little bonus, which is flipping over my spatula. And once per turn, you can flip your spatula over. And if it's on the bonus side like that, you can spend that by flipping it over to do any one of the judge bonuses. If it's on the other side, then you can turn in one of the ingredient lists to make the dish. And if you use your thing, then you'll go to the bonus side. It can only flip once a turn though. So you do need to be careful and remember to use it when you can. So that's what your special player does. Each one of the different characters that you can choose from at the beginning of the game have a different type of ingredient that they really like to work with. So how do you actually get these ingredients? On your turn, you have a couple different ones. We already talked about turning in your ingredients to get a dish completed. That's super easy. That takes your whole turn. Or you can get ingredients in 2 different ways. One is you can just take any ingredient off of the larder, which is that area in the middle of the board you can see. Just take one of those or one off the top if you don't like any of those. And that's called stealing an ingredient. Or you can trade an ingredient, which means you discard one of the cards in your hand, and each one of them has a number of ingredients on it, either 1, 2, or 3. So if I discard a card that has 3 ingredients on it, then I can take 3 cards from the middle of that board. So I discard that 3, and then I could collect 3 of those, and they go into my hand. I can't have more than 7 cards at a time. So that's how you get a bunch of ingredients, and then you spend those to be able to make a dish. But remember, you want to have the exact number of ingredients correct. So if you go over, if you add too much salt to your dish, it's not going to taste very good. So that would bump you down to either bronze or silver, depending on the dish. And that's pretty much it.
Well, I wanted to highlight one thing that I thought was really cool with the graphic design is, like, let's say we finish, I think it's chicken fish way over on the left-hand edge there for one of the recipes. Let's say we finished it perfectly and we got gold. You're going to tuck that card under your chef, and you're going to tuck it under so that little gold flag is visible, because that tells you I scored this as gold. Yep, just like that. And thus I got the maximum amount of points. Had you done silver or bronze, you would rotate and have the corresponding side show in that little flag underneath. Yep, just like that, underneath your chef. And then that's how you have an easy tally of how accurately you did that recipe.
I do really love that. This game is actually designed by Daniel Solis, who happens to also be a graphic designer. And I think he probably came up with that, which was a really, really smart way to do it. Because there are some of the judge abilities that allow you to upgrade a dish, which is really easy to do because of the way that it's set up. You just turn it underneath your character. But you'll never lose track of your points this way either, because you're not bumping it or messing with tokens or anything. And the goal of the game is just to be the first chef to get to 21 points. Everybody gets equal numbers of turns. So you can easily add up all of your points because they'll be right there underneath your chef. And that's Space Battle Lunchtime. And that's really about it. This one is $25. It is coming out on the 27th, which is next Wednesday. So again, you can order it from the BGG store right now and get it a little bit early. So it should be fun. And please do check out the graphic novel. It's very cute.
Yeah, which actually I wasn't aware that it was paired with a graphic novel. So that just adds like another layer of intrigue onto that. Give a little backstory to your lunchtime card game.
Yeah.
I did just want to also mention too, how many players does it support?
This one goes up to 5, which is nice. So your whole family can play. Secondly is only up to 4 players. It makes it all nice and mathematically even. But Space Battle Lunchtime does go up to 5.
Well, Sarah, I really appreciate that you were able to join us today and give us 2 beautiful tours of the newest things coming out, and share a little bit news of what's coming on with Renegade Game Studios and your events later this year. In the last minute we have here, was there anything else that you wanted to share with the world, or should we send you on your way?
There's one more game that I really want to tell people about. Search for Planet X. If you have not seen this game yet, it is just incredible. It's one of my favorite games coming out this year. It is coming out on June 10th as well, and it is a deduction game. So go look it up on BGG. There's lots of info about it. We're going to be playing it and doing demos during Renegade Con next weekend, or in a couple weekends, June 5th. But yeah, come check it out with us because it's a really amazing game. And maybe I'll be able to jump on Board Game Geek TV again in the future and show you that one.
Certainly hope so. Well, Sarah Erickson, thank you so much for giving us the time, and good luck with your event in a couple weeks. And I'm sure we'll be chatting later in this year.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. Good luck with the rest of your event.